If you're going to buy a Model 3, a Tesla Model 3, and I think you should, if you're in the market for a non-SUV electric car, you've got to do it now. You've got about 2 weeks to do it before you lose $7,500 US. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Sam Evans. I'm coming to you from Bangkok in Thailand. It's interesting living here. Holiday is one thing. Living in a place is entirely different. But I can tell you now, I've received a few emails from you guys saying, oh, there's so many gas cars in Thailand, a lot of pollution. That's true. That's true. That's true. Tesla has started selling their cars here, and I've seen them. I'm not living in the center of Bangkok. I'm on the outskirts. I've seen them in the streets, but I've seen an incredible number of BYD Atto 3s. They're selling insanely well here, and they're not cheap. BYD has actually shipped nearly 15,000 Atto 3s. In fact, they pre-sold 12,000 in only a few weeks' time. And other EVs available here now. The Dolphin EV, it's available here now for 23,000, which is a good price for a very good car. But speaking of good price for a very good car, if you're in the United States, it wouldn't make sense to get a BYD Dolphin for most people, because you can get a Model 3 for not much more. You're talking $7,000 more when you count the EV incentive. Unfortunately, because of where the batteries come from, there's a good chance that the incentive will be lost within the next few weeks. We don't know exactly when. That's why I'm saying you want to put an order in within 2 weeks if you're planning on buying a Model 3. Now, I made a video showing people that there is a new version of the Model 3 coming out, the Highland version. We don't know when exactly that will be available. Some people are waiting for that. You probably will end up having to pay at least $7,500 more for that model, because it'll have the same battery cells. They'll still be coming from China, from CATL most likely. So therefore, you won't get the tax incentive. Likely won't get it. There's about a 95% chance you won't qualify. I don't think the new upgrades to the Highland version would be worth $7,500 US. Tesla has sent a memo to employees saying the base Model 3 will lose access to EV incentives in the US in the coming weeks. Besides Tesla's massive production ramp, the US government's tax credit for consumers to buy EVs has been a huge driver for demand for EVs. EVs not made in the US, sales going down. EVs made in the US, sales going up. According to a memo released recently, Tesla expects to lose incentives on the base Model 3. This doesn't apply to the more expensive versions of the Model 3. So if you're going to buy one of those, it won't make any difference. None, as in zero, meaning the long-range version of the Model 3 will probably cost the same amount as the cheapest version. The change in incentives are expected to affect vehicles with batteries made outside the US. Of course, the only model with batteries made outside the US is the base version, coming with the CATL battery cells. So the reason for this lack of $7,500 US credit for the base model is that the EV incentives in the US, to get them, an automaker must assemble the EV in North America. But with the expected changes, the vehicle's batteries must also be sourced domestically. Now, that change actually came about from Joe Manchin. He basically forced that. He said, do this or, I'm going to hold up the whole thing. And he did hold it up. He did hold the IRA up. The snag was him saying, no, I'm not going to go ahead with agreeing to this unless the battery pack has to be sourced in the US. So of course, this means the cheapest version of the Model 3 likely won't qualify, and this change will come into effect within a few weeks. The standard range Model 3 is assembled in the US at the Fremont, California facility, but it receives its LFP batteries from China, from CATL. So that then makes it ineligible for the credit. Fortunately though, this means that other Tesla models will still qualify for the EV incentive because their cells are made in the United States. The higher end variants of the Model 3 and the Model Y both receive batteries made in the US. Those batteries are made by Panasonic, or they're made by Tesla themselves. But of course, there's not many cars with 4680 cells in them yet. Realistically, what this is going to do is it's going to mean that a lot of cars will no longer qualify. There's quite a lot of more affordable EVs in the US right now where their batteries are made outside the United States. So this means that if you're in the market for an EV period, not necessarily just a Tesla, and it's an affordable EV, do a quick search, find out if that EV has cells made, the actual cells, not the pack, the cells, if they're made in the US or in Canada or Mexico. If they are, well, it'll still qualify. If they're not, you need to buy it pretty quickly. Otherwise, you won't get the tax credit. A lot of people are against this change. I think it's a good thing. I think that we have no choice. I think America, the free world, as you want to call it, has no choice. China controls more than 75% of battery production worldwide. They want to take over the automotive market. They want to take over the entire automotive market. We're talking at trillions of dollars. This had to happen. The IRA had to happen. A lot of you said I was wrong. A lot of people, not you specifically, but people in general said I was wrong. A lot of people said No, Viking, this is bad. Well, you can see what's happened. It's caused hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into EVs and battery production in the US. And fortunately, this is really the only anecdote to Chinese complete dominance of EVs and EV manufacturing. Europe will be taken over. It's just a matter of time. Japan will too. Who's going to take that? China. The US must at least keep North America. That's what they're doing. Therefore, I think it's logical. But like I said, get that Model 3 as quickly as you can. Don't wait for the Highland version. It's definitely not worth paying $7,500 more. Could be more than that too. Highland version could be an extra couple of few thousand. That might end up being, $10, $11, $12,000 more than the base model. Model 3 is an amazing price right now in the United States. Let me know your thoughts though. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.